Yes, I know a lot of people. You have to read a book, it's called The Cipher of Genesis by an old Kabbalist named Berg. He's one of the leading experts on the Kabbalah. And the thing that people forget is that in Hebrew, the alphabet is also numbers. They're one and the same. And the Greek alphabet's the only other one. So when you're counting, when you're saying alpha, beta, gamma, whatever, you're also counting. So there is a, so to translate the Bible to Moses, you have to do a numeric symbolic interpretation of it as well, which gives the other part point of view. They claim that the words that you're reading is what they call the manifest content, and then the hidden content, or they call it sub content, is the numbers. So you take the numbers and what's being said and you put them together, and that gives you the direction. So it has to be read.
I was a lot happier after a month away from it.
How can they make the numbers to make sense?
There's no doubt about it.
The thing too is in the original Bible, there were no periods, there were no commas, there was no syntax. It was one huge word. It's a Moses, one enormous word. And over the years, people have decided where the periods and commas should go, and then where it's there. That's why you have to read the Cipher of Genesis.
It's better that way.
Because you get it from the Kabbalah point of view.
King James.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was one of the saints. I couldn't see shit. He used to ride around on a horse, and he was the guy that came up with chapter and verse. I'll find out who it was. Saint Matthew.
Make your meals.
But what happened is he didn't have chapter and verse. He traveled around preaching, and he took a copy of the Bible with him, and when he did it, he started writing it up as chapter and verse. So before then, there were no chapters and verses. It was just one enormous run-on sentence in Hebrew. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here this evening.
Dan Brady.
Thank you so much.
Dan Brady.
Thank you.
Dan Brady. I'm Dan Brady.
Thank you. Thank you. My mother thanks you. My brother thanks and all you. My uncle would thank you, but I don't like him. We haven't talked in decades. Perverted old jackass. Never mind. I like to go through my normal round of things. So this is the longest running open mic that we know of in the known and non-universe. Fine poetry and good food since 1972.
Yeah, baby.
And if you were born after 72, then you were born after this place started. So how about that? Our feature, Jeremy Cantor, right there. We'll give a nice wave so we know that he is ready to go. A good poet. He did bring some books here, so he will tell you a little about those, and those are available. Let me just see here. Mr. Richard Sandoval right here will be the keynote in a moment. And if you have one of these, like I know I do, now's the perfect time to take it out, go like this, and turn it off so that it won't go off in the middle of a reading, or your reading, or somebody else's reading. Let's see. The live streaming has been set up by Mr. Natural, and I just talked about cell phones. Oh, the fabulous prizes. These are the fabulous prizes. So you notice when you signed in, you had a number next to your name, and at the end of the evening, then I shuffle these cards with numbers on them and find out who gets what. The Wild Geography of Misplaced Things, David Rosenthal. Poetry Magazine, and this one is from 2012. A good year for Barscotch. September 2004, a bad year for Barscotch. And January 2003, when the Jackass was still running the country. And February 2003, when that Jackass was still. And this is Don Brennan's Barbaria. It's a great novel in the sense of what it writes about, but he didn't have a chance to do what he wanted to do with it, which is like go through and re-edit. But it's a great story, rollicking and interesting. It's set in California, specifically the Bay Area, Monterey, and Vacaville, in the transition between the Spanish rule and the gold rush in that period of time. Then, of course, if you're interested in coming back next week, you can be the mini feature, which you'll see, and the keynote, which he will be doing before your very eyes. And then one last thing. I know I talk a lot. I love this one. Every first Saturday of the month, and they're going to do it this month, right? La Promenade, right? Okay, then I won't do that.
But they are in August every.
Maybe I should hand it out for people. Okay, that's a good idea.
But this is the
All
4th of
right,
July.
so
we're not gonna do
even
it.
though the date on here is June 6th,
Want me to hand it out?
yes, it's a great venue for poetry. It's the first Saturday every month, and all the relevant information is on the flyer. It's just that we have to realize it's the first Saturday, not whatever date is on the paper. And because it's a great place to go, I said I would try to let people know about that.
Quite always.
I have no idea.
The other thing is, if you read a poem by someone else, I appreciate it if you take one of these cards as you leave and write the name of the poet and the poem so that I can credit where credit is due when I do the little write-ups. This is new, but because some people do read other people's works, and I'd like to say, it was about a strawberry, and the guy was like 500 years ago, finished something or other. I don't know. So rather than do that, I have the name and the name of the book. So that's for that. Thank you. All right. And these little tiny strips are replacing the information on this little poster here, because we stream live and there's ways of viewing in, and this is the way that you'll need to do that, so you can get it at some point. Probably at the break, that would be good. Is there anything else? Oh, yes. And now, chapter and verse. I'm so glad to see you all here. I hope that you're going to have a very interesting and strange time. I know I always do. And people say, what do you mean by that? And I'll say, just listen and you'll see.
I heard you say something about the first Saturday of the month.
Yeah, but it's not happening.
That's what I wanted to say. We're not doing
I
that.
passed the word on.
It's going to be August. Yeah. Okay.
August, with QR hand.
QR hand.
QR.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
That would be very good to go to.
And if you like Buddhism, here's a handout on that. That'll be up there in front of you. Anyway, so what I like to do is think about why we're here. What's the purpose? What is the purpose? You come here, blah blah blah. But this is a place